Hi, folks. I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my top 3 political cartoon countdown for September 23rd, 2023. Welcome all, folks, and tonight I'm going to flash out to you the top 3 cartoons of the last couple of weeks or so, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to start off with numero 3, number 3, de los semanas. Okay. Here's the characters here are Lindsey Graham and Fannie Willis, watching Lindsey Graham defend himself. Okay. Here's Lindsey. And here's the prosecuting attorney, DA, Fannie Willis, watching Lindsey defend himself. And I'll read you the introduction. Fannie Willis, Fulton County District Attorney, watching Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican, South Carolina, defend charges against him with respect to the national effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election, given 13 members of the Fulton County grand jury backed bringing charges against Graham, and 7 other members did not. And legal experts said the split vote played a major role in convincing Willis not to bring charges against Graham. Given Graham came under fire for his call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who claimed that the senator asked him if he had the power to throw out votes that were legally cast in counties with high rates of non-matching signature. So Lindsey basically asked questions if it was possible to legally make something that was illegal legal. So he's saying basically that it was an intellectual pursuit for the well-being of the country to ask if something that was basically illegal, if the Georgia had a provision for them to do it legally. So he didn't ask him to do anything wrong because he said, if there was a way that you can do it, legally. Look it up. He asked Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State in Georgia, if he could do that. So that was basically the essence. And here's Lindsey defending basically the split decision. In fact, that there was an element in the jury who wanted to bring charges against Graham. So here he is defending himself against that. And here he goes. Here's Lindsey. Here he goes. And he's saying here, I was totally surprised. I never suggested anybody set aside the election. I never said go find votes. I never said anything other than trying to find out how the mail-in balloting system worked. In other words, if there was a way to throw out the mail-in votes that came from counties where there was a large discrepancy or problems with the signatures, if you could throw those votes out legally, okay? If it ever becomes impossible or legally dangerous for a United States Senator to call up people to find out how the election was wrong, God help us all. And then here is Fannie Willis, and she's watching this defense. Graham, here she is. There's Fannie Willis, Georgia prosecuting attorney. There she is. And she's watching it, and she's saying to herself, if this little weasel ever pops up as Attorney General under a second Trump administration, God help the United States. So here here's Lindsey Graham defending himself. And here is the prosecuting DA from Georgia, Fannie Willis. Okay, so that was numero 3, excuse me. That was numero 3 de los semanas. Now, here we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Pentagon in the background. Okay, and the sign says Trump Green 2024. with here we have the supporters, I guess that you could say the base of President Trump's supporters here turning out to watch a dream. This is a dream that Marjorie Taylor had following her decision to change the vote, or maybe before, perhaps, to change her vote in terms of not funding the defense bill. Okay, so here it is here, and she has a dream basically that Trump had put her in a position of number 2 on his ticket for 2024, and she was on the ticket with President Trump to be the vice president of the United States if former President Trump won the election. Okay, that's the dream. And there's the Trump supporters, and now she's having this dream about protesting peace. Now there's nothing else other than a peaceful protest here. So don't anybody get nervous. This is just a peaceful protest here in front of the Pentagon. Okay, there it is. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene up there, and there's the protesters waving the American flag. Trump Green 2024, the Pentagon, and here is the introduction. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican, Georgia, Pentagon protest dream. Given on Thursday, Greene flipped her prior, quote, yes vote to a, quote, no vote on advancing the Pentagon funding bill towards a House vote, citing, now Greene wasn't the only one. There's a whole there's about, from what I hear, is about 10 or 12, somewhere around there, who have really bottled up this whole thing. They muddy the waters here in terms of getting this defense funded, this Pentagon funding bill, and other things. You know, this is only involving that specific element of the situation, which is enough to talk about. So what here? So the history here is that I picked Marjorie Taylor Greene because I thought she was representative of the whole backing of that established 10 or 12. They call themselves far right Republicans. I don't even consider them. I don't know if anybody. I don't. If Barry Goldwater, who was a real conservative, came back today, I don't think he would consider these people who are going against the Pentagon, defending this country. I don't think he'd consider them right wingers. I don't think he'd say they were right wing conservatives, because Barry Goldwater was a real right wing conservative, you know. And I'm not going to go into that. But if he came back as a ghost and saw that what these people are doing in the name of conservatism, I don't think he'd be too happy with that. But anyway, okay, those people who are my age back will remember Barry Goldwater in 64. You know, it was AUH2O in Goldwater on the license plates. People were driving around with that. So I remember that well. Okay, so towards a House vote, citing Ukraine aid as the reason for her no vote. So she's basically saying here that her no vote is based upon the fact that it's the money that she would appropriate would go to Ukraine. A lot of that she feels no money should go there, and that's her position. Amid President Volodymyr Zelensky telling lawmakers in Congress on his visit to Washington that Ukraine would lose the war to Russia if the United States curtailed the flow of aid and weapons. Okay, which, in my judgment, is probably true, because that's the whole backbone of there goes all those the F-15s. I think it was the F-15s or F-14s or something like that, sophisticated airplanes that we were going to give them, and all that's gone with the wind. You know, they're going to have they're going to have to go back to World War II stuff, and there's no match for the Russians for sure. Below dream. Here's the below dream. Given Greene posted on X, our defense bill should not fund our DOD for blood money for the Ukraine war. That's why I'm a no vote. That's why I'm a no. That's a word for word from Marjorie Taylor Greene on that. So I did this cartoon here to show her having this dream in front of the Pentagon, a peaceful protest. And here's this Trump supporters, and that she was, like I said before, she was nominated on the ticket to be number 2 with candidate, assuming the former President Trump got the Republican nomination, she'd be number 2 on the ticket as vice president with President Trump. And that's the Trump Green 2024 there. And then you see the American flag raised up there. And then you see all the supporters of former President Trump in green. And they're all there in front of the Pentagon. And this is her dream. And she's up there. There she is. Thumbs down for Ukraine. There it is. Thumbs down for Ukraine. And here's what I have her saying based upon her past historical statements. So here it goes. Down with funding the Ukraine war. No more war in 24. No funding Pentagon until America is free from this war against Russia in Ukraine. So you see it word for word. This is what she said. She characterized what's happening in the Russian attack on Ukraine and all the bombardments and all the horrible things we see every day on television going on in these cities and the atrocities that we see. She characterizes that as a war against Russia in Ukraine. That's her characterization of what's going on there, which is this is a free country. So she could say, well, what if there was a Marjorie Taylor Greene in Russia saying the exact opposite? She where she would be now. You wouldn't be seeing too much of her around. But thanks for this country that it could be in the long term. It could be our downfall. I hope not. But a Marjorie Taylor Greene talking in the other direction in Russia would not exist. So that's the I guess you could say the silver lining in terms of American democracy. And will this will democracy hold up to this horrific test that it's going to be put under? I don't know, because I'm going to digress a little bit. I mean, we fought the Civil War. There was all it would. I mean this is like in a ballpark of that, in a sense, I mean it's really a test of our democracy to see if we can withstand this kind of assault on our democracy, with people wanting not to defend, not to back the defense of the United States, the defense bill, and talking about now shutting down the government. And then you got this other guy here who's saying that he won't permit promotions, 300 promotions. I think Tommy Tuberville, he's saying we can't have promotions until a matter of a position that doesn't relate to defense. And here you got North Korea and Russia shaking hands, becoming best friends, and you got China and Russia shaking hands and best friends, and we're fighting internally like cats and dogs. I mean, you draw your own conclusion. Okay, let's hope this is So there you have it here. That's it. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Down with funding for Ukraine. All right. Okay, I try to try not to inject my view, just make you think a little bit and bring a smile to your face and make you think a little bit. And that's all I'm trying to do here. I try my damnedest to present the facts in a humorous way and let you be the judge of how you want to interpret my cartoons. Now here was number one Now here we have former President Trump giving Mark Meadows a spanking on his knee. And here he is. Okay. There he is. And here we got giving Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff and co-defendant in the Georgia indictment involving overturning election 2020, said during testimony on Monday that he would have, quote, he would have been yelled at by Trump if his efforts were not successful in the fake elective scheme. So Mark Meadows is basically trying to justify the fact that he would have been yelled at by former President Trump, which would have been very upsetting to him. And that is why he kind of went along with this scheme a little bit, you know? So he's not saying he genuinely believed that there was a problem with the election. He's saying basically that he didn't want any problems with then President Trump, with him yelling at him. Okay, very like Patrick Henry, you know. give me liberty or give me death. Well, he said, don't let Trump yell at me. That will be that. It will be my death. So basically, I mean in that figuratively speaking, you know, I don't mean it literally. Okay. Successful in fake electors, and he would successful and by Trump if his efforts were not successful in the fake elector scheme. That when asked about an email in which Meadows reportedly was supporting the coordination of the fake electors, Meadows' defensive vision of what awaited him from Trump if the electors' plan failed. So that's what Meadows is saying, that threat from then President Trump brought him in to basically participating in the phone call conversation to the extent that he did do. Okay, so here you got here. Here is the cartoon here. There it is. There's Trump. There's former President Trump. And there's Meadows on his knee, getting spanking. And he's saying here, Meadows, this is for failing to deliver my 16 pro-Trump Electoral College certificates from our electors. In other words, they wanted to substitute their own electors and have them change the outcome of the election in those deciding states. Georgia being one of them. In this case, Georgia. Mr. President, we failed our electors in Georgia. Mr. President, we failed. And this is what would happen had he said that. Mr. President, we failed. And how they failed to get the electors to do what they did do, and now they're in trouble now for that. But had they not succeeded in getting the electors to basically go as far as they did go, this is what would have been the result. Mr. President, we failed. Our electors in Georgia could not be talked into signing the 16 certificates that you won the state. And then here we have here he goes. And there goes Trump with his hand on there. Okay. It's the tears coming down. There's President Trump, angry. There. Okay, and he's saying here, you coward. Here's 16 electors for your butt. So there's 16 electors. That he's getting now on his butt. He's getting the 16 electors on his butt for not delivering. Had he not delivered? Okay, so that was it. I want to thank you very much, folks, for watching my cartoon countdown. God bless you. God bless America. Stay well, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks.